We're talking about university. It's probably, more of the expected path for, I guess, a lot of young Australians. This has come up again this week, this debate over basically whether uni is a scam, if it's outdated, if that's really the way to go. It comes up every year when the HECS indexing happens. And so that was this week, 1st of June. I think it was about $770 was added on average to everyone's student debt. So, yeah, I want to know what you guys think about it. Mary, you have been to university, I believe.
I do actually have a university degree and a half-finished master's, so absolutely look out.
Half-finished master's.
Yeah, when I finish that, look out.
And how's your HECS debt?
Yeah, it's really bad. It's like $60,000.
Yeah.
And I think that's after, oh no, maybe it's 55 now after, how they had, Albo took a little bit off. But now it's probably gone back up because of indexation, so it's probably, the 60K is probably correct. I'm a big fan of university. I went to university. I also teach a university class. Bit of a slay from me. But I also think what's happened is this become this new conversation of university should immediately result in a job. It's like going to TAFE and doing a trade. But I think what university taught me was probably I did do an arts degree majoring in journalism, and I did learn some things about journalism. But really what it taught me was how to think and how to think more about things. And it's how I discovered things like, dare I say, feminism and how to critically think about things. Oh, it's going to make you angry. And I think it set me up.
We got to have the left-wing gateway through the universities.
The agenda, if you will.
The long march
and
through
to
the
think about things
institutions.
philosophically. I think it really made me a smarter person. And so, yeah, I don't think it really directly related in a job to me. It took me ages to get a job in journalism. I didn't finish and then graduate and get a job. I did a lot of different things before I got a proper journalism job. But I'm so grateful for my degree, and I love my arts degree.
Well, Caleb, I don't believe you have a degree.
No.
Do you know how to think?
And some might say shows.
Leave that to the listeners and viewers, I suppose.
Yeah, famously uneducated Caleb Bond.
That's right. I'd like to think that, by virtue of the fact I'm here, I have some ability to think, and that's why I get paid to do this job.
You couldn't think. I just think that you can think very well.
Well, still, I'm getting paid for it.
But you've been, I guess, probably more traditionally educated in another way.
Well, yeah, I did a cadetship, which was the old-fashioned way
did you?
of getting into journalism.
How
right?
old were you when you did the cadetship?
17 I started.
You were a baby.
Straight out of high school.
How did you get the
6 months out of
cadetship?
high school. I knocked on the door until they thought, we'll give him a job so he shuts up.
So you really
basically.
went to a little newsroom?
Yeah. Well, not a little newsroom. It was
They
at the
still have them,
Advertiser in Adelaide.
Oh, big newsroom.
But no, I was just determined and got what I wanted, basically. But going back to the point, I did a cadetship, and I think that served me really well. I learnt far more about journalism in 6 months on the job than you probably did in, 3 or 4 years at university.
Yeah.
And I can reasonably confidently say that because I used to see, and I'll call them kids, but they're all older than me, come through and do, an internship for a couple of weeks or something in the newsroom, which was part of their degree. And they didn't know how to write. They didn't know how to conduct an interview. I'm like, what are they teaching you at university? Apparently lots about ethics, which is great, but if you can't work that out for yourself, then you shouldn't be in the industry in the first place. They were not learning anything that really applied to the job. And so I'm going, well, what are you doing this for, right? Now, you might say it's to expand your mind or whatever, and that's fine. If that's all you want out of it, then go for it. And I think there is definitely a place for learning about classical arts and history and whatever at university for your own personal application. But the reality is, most people are going to uni because they want to go down a career pathway. And often it does not return that.
But then if we don't have universities, then we just have a bunch of 18-year-olds at work, and that
No,
would
but
be really annoying.
it's not about not having universities.
I don't want to work with 18-year-olds.
There are people who I think now feel like they have to go to university because they're sort of pushed in that direction by schools, and it's almost like it's an extension of your schooling now that you should go to university. You're expected to go to university. And some people just don't have the academic aptitude, or they're not suited to it, or they're really practical and they should be doing something else and could do something else and be making a lot of money a lot earlier. And instead they feel like they need to go to university, and they get to the other side and they go, why the hell did I do that? Now I've got a HECS debt and no job. What's the point?
I remember I wrote a story, I think, years ago, probably close to 10 years ago now, that was basically, saying that there were so many people, graduates coming out of university, and employers were just losing their minds that they had no skills to work.
Yep.
They're like great on paper, but they don't know how to do the job. They don't know how to relate to people. They're not showing up on time. And like the only kind of real way to learn those skills is to work.
But then I again think this comes down to the fact of like this prolonged adolescence, which is that parents aren't, like I teach students that don't work part-time. And I think that's crazy. Like when I was at uni, I mean, it was not a full-time job. And I was doing full-time hours. You have so much time to play, which you miss out on when you go 9 to 5. And I think that's the other thing. Like for some people, university, like it does prolong your adolescence, which is a good thing. Like I don't want to work with a 19-year-old. I think you're meant to be going on a couple of classes, hanging out with your friends, working part-time, and getting some life experience under your belt. Like I think I had so much fun during my university years, and I'm so glad I went to university. I learned a lot, but also I had a bit of time to explore the world in a much more low-stakes way.
Yeah, but I think there are a lot of people who have had the exact opposite experience to you. Not discounting that it was good for you, but I think a lot of people go to uni now and then wonder why they bothered at the end of it, particularly since COVID, when a lot of stuff's now gone online, and even the fun parts of uni are disappearing.
I would have been 17 when I started uni. I was an idiot. I was very silly and dumb and young and inexperienced. I don't feel like I was ready to kind of enter the industry. So I'm so grateful that I had that time to grow up, and I used that time to get lots of work experience, spend time in newsrooms, actually figure out what I wanted to do. But I think as well as that, the most fun was just kind of socializing, going to the uni bar, and it was just a really nice time.
But I think
I feel sad when kids don't get that now.
But I think so, journalism, as far as I'm concerned, is a trade.
Yeah.
It's not a profession.
Yeah.
And
do you call yourself a tradie to other tradies? You should go to the pub and you should.
I'm a tradie on the TV, like Scott Cam.
Yeah.
No. But
you have a high vis vest, but it says media.
Yes, that's right. You got a flak jacket. But to coin a term, because it's obviously not a real word, I think a number of jobs have been academified.
Oh, if you come with a little word.
For the purposes of creating degrees so that universities can make money.
Oh,
I think there's absolutely a place for uni, of course there is, but it has to serve the country and the people within it. And I think that balance is just a bit out of whack towards the uni these days.
I would just say that in general, unis have become too expensive. Like a $60,000 HECS debt that I'm still working to pay off is ridiculous.